Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, September 2nd, and today is a portfolio update. So we ended the month of August. By the way, we are live. Please confirm audio on X and YouTube. But I decided to do this month's portfolio update live because we had the extra day, right? We did the morning show on Monday, and today's Tuesday. Obviously, nothing. We don't do the recaps anymore. So what we're gonna do is, since it's the end of the month, we'll just do the portfolio update, and we'll do it live. And if you guys have any questions about the portfolio update, at least I can answer it live and go from there. All right. Thank you for confirming audio, Clive and Pro Fast Guy. I appreciate that. All right, so portfolio update. So what am I talking about here? Well, you guys are probably familiar with this spreadsheet. This is my options trading account and spreadsheet. It's all in one, right? And then I also have the dividend car account, which, that one I really only talk about once a month. And then at the end, I combine the two on top of, including any YouTube or X income that I do make to see how close I am to retiring. All right. So we'll start with the options account and then we'll go from there. So on this account, I own Misty, and Misty paid twice in August. So that was a very nice payment. And obviously I do options currently on TSLL and TNA. And between all of that, if I go here, you can see how much I made for the month of August on Misty. I made 1,500. 1501. This is between not only the dividends but also options premium, because I did options on Misty as well. And then TSLL, I made $704 in options premium this month, and then TNA I made $962 this month. So for the options account, the income wise, I made $3,167. Of course, knowing that it was, an extra week. Let's be real here. Kind of feel like a cheater in a way. You got Misty paying twice, so you got that extra massive payment in there. So obviously, yeah, I beat last month, but I beat it because freaking, you got that extra Misty payment. So that being said, this is the actual portfolio update tab, which is on the same file. So let me just show you that basically my plan month to month is, I set goals on how much I want to, how much capital should be in the account and how much income I should be generating. So this month, I'm showing that, based on how much income I should have gotten last month, right? My capital should have been at $53,943. Okay. Now, obviously, if you look like last month to this month, right, I'm just adding in the income I should have made. Okay. Keep in mind, last month, I actually only had 51,000 in capital. This month, it jumped up to 54,683.60. So again, it was a really good month. Market was behaving. And to be honest, it was mostly on, TNA. Misty really didn't help, to be honest. I mean, the payments helped, but as far as capital is concerned, no, Misty did not help me. But they did obviously pay a hefty income. So I had it work both ways. Obviously, I was making options premium as well. So my capital as of the end of August is 54,683, and that exceeded the capital goal of 53,943. Also, the income goal is over here, and that was based on 50% yield from the last month's capital expectation. And obviously, that comes to $2,209. And if you look over here, I generated $3,167.04. So in both examples, it's green because I have exceeded the goal, which again, it's a cheating month for sure. But it is what it is, and nothing I could do, about that. Now, for the yield, again, I take how much I made, I times it by 12 and divide it by the capital I held, and that's a 69% yield. Again, high month because 2 distributions. Capital appreciation, it's actually 1.37% ahead of goal. You know, that's going to change. Again, you see the capital fluctuating. We are trading, you know, I trade options on leveraged funds. And I have Misty in the account too. So that's obviously going to move up and down. I did deposit $250 this month because that's something I've recently started doing since I am able to. It's not much, I know, but it's just a little boost to the account to help, you know, hope to retire sooner, right? You know, we need all the help we can get. Reinvested percentage, this is just how much, because again, I do pay the mortgage out of this account. So you see this 1,300, I actually just skipped over it. But this 1,300, this comes out of the account on the 1st of every month. All right. So it's the only bill that comes out of the account, but it's a $1,300 bill that comes out of the account every month. So after paying that bill, how much of the income am I able to reinvest? 58% this month. Again, ideally, I'd like to reinvest more than half, and obviously this month that worked out. You know, regardless, the goal is the goal, right? So that's really what I'm focused on. You know, the 50% is just whatever. But, you know, ideally, you know, you could see basically, you know, the capital goes up, the income goes up, the capital goes up, the income goes up. So if we go down further, again, this is tracked all the way down. Granted, there may be modifications down the road, but, you know, again, it's not without this, you know, big boost of deposits, it is slowly growing, right? It's going to slowly grow, hopefully, but it's gonna take a while. In fact, I only go down to 2030 because there's no way in hell I'm working past 2030. I'm sorry, that is the absolute cutoff. But at 2030, end of year, I would have a capital of 341,000, which would pay me an income of 13,000. Again, trading options, earning about 50% annualized yield. Okay, sound good? Any questions? Again, we are live. I can take questions live on each account as I go through them. But does anyone have any questions on the Retire Now account? I will pull it up and answer them as we go. I'll give it a second. Let me take a sip of coffee. And good morning to everyone who's here on watching YouTube and X. I appreciate it. Not seeing any questions. So I will move on. Actually, I did still have this hypothetical, which I'll show you real quick. Retire on options. So my average rate of return is 55%. Again, this is actual return. And I was showing, okay, if I want to generate $200,000 a year, right? How much capital do I need? And it comes to 357,000. So obviously, you know, I'm not near that at all, but you know, ideally, that if I had that amount of money in my account, could I retire on 200,000? Well, the question is, can I retire on 200,000? You would hope so, right? And then the next question is, how much do I need to make 200,000? And I'm calculating about 357,000. So, yeah, those are the numbers. All right, now on to the dividend car account, assuming no questions. So this account's a little different, right? So again, going back here, this account, the options account, it's all options. The whole thing, I do options myself. I'm active on it. You know, I'm trading TNA, I'm trading TSLL, and I'm trading Misty. Options trades, in and out, in and out, in and out. Now the dividend car account, I'm not doing options. Well, I am doing options, but I actually didn't do any options this month. But I was doing like 1 trade a month just to generate an additional income, and I was using the margin to do so. But this month, I just didn't have the time to even think about doing a trade. Plus, I didn't really want to sell a put when we're at all-time highs, to be honest. So that's kind of where that is. But this account mainly holds the weeklies, and here are the weeklies that it holds. I hold the, the Round Hill funds, the XDTE, RDTEs, whatever, right? The Defiance funds. I hold YieldMax. I hold YBTC, LFGY, ULTI, SDTY, QDTY, RDTY, and MST. Thinking about adding blocks, but for the most part, these are weekly payers. And this account, how it works is it's a weekly paycheck. So as much as I bitch about don't change this weekly, I do this account. This is a weekly paycheck account. All right. So what I do is I pay the experts to do the work for me. They pay me weekly, and I use that money and I pay bills with it. And that's pretty much the end of it. The only really question is, do I have a good, combination of funds here? I did say I was going to review the Defiance, Round Hill, and YieldMax funds to see which overall performed the best, right? And I was going to probably eliminate either one of each or two of each, and then go from there. But when is the date? Is that for me? I don't know. Wish I did. But we'll get to that at the end. We can see the numbers if I'm even remotely close to how much I need to make. All right. So these are the funds that I own. I know a lot of people, I get the question all the time, or the statement all the time. Oh, he doesn't own any YieldMax funds, which I don't know. Again, even in the other account, I own Misty. So I'm not sure why they say that. But in this account, yes, I own Misty as well. And then I own, obviously, a lot of the weekly payers. I got rid of YMAG. I actually got rid of a whole bunch of funds. I don't know if, you can see it or not, but I decided to just go more YMAX instead of YMAG. I mean, technically it is overlap, but I'm fine just owning YMAX itself. That's kind of like my, YieldMax and ULTI. This whole thing should be YieldMax and ULTI. Imagine, that would be a freaking dominant fund. But I do like having the 0 and 1 DTE funds, because again, that's something I can't do myself. So I'd be happy to pay them. All right. MST, it's not doing well because MSTR hasn't been doing well. So, but again, when MSTR starts going up, this thing's going to be freaking awesome. Right. And again, I do have to research blocks. Everyone talks about blocks. I haven't even looked at the damn fund. I do know they pay weekly, and I'm sure they're a good fund. I just haven't looked at it, so I can't be adding funds. I don't even know what the hell they are. So anyway, so let's get to the summary. All right, so we're in the month of August. All right, so out of those weeklies, again, there was, an extra week, right? 5 weeks this month, right? So if you look here, I actually kept the dividends, right? How many Fridays? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Okay. So we had the 5 Fridays where, you got paid 5 times if it was a Friday fund. Like it was a fund that paid on a Friday, you got paid 5 times. All right. So, I mean, obviously, again, just like I said on the other account, it's going to be inflated. This is not realistic. It's not going to stick for next month or the month after. Again, it's just a luck of the draw that it landed in August. But hell, let's enjoy it. So the total income from the weeklies, massive jump from last month. So I don't, on top of increasing the distribution, again, I got paid. In fact, this doesn't even make sense now that I'm looking at it. 3,074. Let me just double check this. Unless I screwed up last month, right? Go to grand total. 3,073. I did take out, oh no, Misty's in here. Duh, dumbass. Okay, my bad. I gotta take out Misty. Whoops. I knew something wasn't right. All right. Filter symbol. And uncheck Misty. Hit OK. Okay, so yeah, everything else should be in here. That's the weeklies. Okay, good. All right, so taking out Misty, Oh wow, big drop. Holy crap, I screwed that one up big time. 1709.78. But obviously, looking at last month, it's why is the formula? I did pay special values, didn't I? Ay. All right, 1710. Okay, makes more sense. Increase from last month. Great. All right, so we got paid. I also have to adjust that last file too. Let me do that now before I forget. 3074. Do the car. Jumping ahead here. All right. Anyway, okay. So dividend car account. The weeklies paid me $1,700. Misty paid me twice, $1.18 and $1.08. And I had 600 shares both times. So if I take the 227 total times it by 600, I got paid a total of $1,364 from Misty, which that's a total income of $3,074. Is that good? Well, yeah, it's 1,000 more than last month. Account balance did go down a little bit from 49.7 to 48. Yield though, yield is freaking pretty damn sweet, right? It's showing a 77% yield, but again, that's cheating because there's an extra payment this month. So don't get your hopes up. Here's my awful Misty cost basis, but in the end, it really doesn't matter, right? As long as they pay me a respectable yield on cost, which they still do. And now we get into the bills. Okay. So again, we got the car payment broken down and we got other bills. So, the dividend car, this account was set up primarily to pay a car payment and reinvest the rest. But what I decided to do is I'm slowly having my brokerage accounts automatically pay all my bills. All right. Because I don't want to have to rely on a work paycheck, an active income paycheck. I want the brokerage to pay all of the regular reoccurring bills automatically. So I'm in the process of doing that, right? So right now I have the car that's getting paid on the 6th of every month. This is done through, again, this is an account in Fidelity, and the good thing about Fidelity is they have bill pay. All right. My Charles Schwab account, they don't have bill pay unless I open a new checking account attached to the brokerage account. And I didn't want to do that. So I noticed Fidelity has bill pay within the brokerage account. So since they do, I'm able to now schedule this payment through bill pay. So pay, whoever the loan is, $400 on the 6th of every month, and it does it automatically. All right. All of these others, though, these I gave, routing number and checking account number. And that's how these are paid. It's not paid through like the bill pay because, again, I don't know what the amount's going to be. These are the types of things that change each month. But, those are done. So it's good to have, like in the Fidelity account, I could do either. I could do the bill pay way, or I can give them a checking account and routing number. The Charles Schwab, I'm only able to do the checking account number and routing number. So that's why I'm able to pay my mortgage, because again, obviously they'll gladly accept that, right? Here you go. Take out the first of every freaking month. Boom. All right. But again, the beauty of Fidelity and why I probably won't ever move, I'm never going to have all the money in one account, because I like Fidelity for certain things and I like Schwab for certain things. So, and it's probably going to be separated. And I kind of like it because, to be honest, should I be trusted with all the money doing options myself? Probably not. So I'm okay with the 50-50 split right now. So I'll pay the experts to do some, and I'll do some. All right. So anyway, let's get to the bills. Gas bill, cheap in the summer, very cheap in the summer. $74 came out the 15th automatically. Internet and phone. Yeah, this is like cell phones, 2 cell phones. Now I added, of course, my son has a watch because we have to track him. And then we have internet at home, and it comes to $247. Is that a good price? I don't know. It's got we have 2 new phones too, so you got to keep that in mind. So it's not it is what it is. And then of course, I do pay for parents' internet and one in their home. So, that's cheap because it's an add-on. I use Verizon, and when I added it on, it was so cheap. I'm like, I'll just pay for it. No big deal. And then, of course, this monstrosity in the summer, the electric bill is pure freaking chaos. Like, look at this thing, $467. This is why people go solar. I mean, I get it, man. Holy crap. Almost $500 a month for electric. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, that's a joke and a half. Is it not? Is it not? I mean, is this normal? I guess so. Again, I got to pull a hot tub, kids, this, that, the other thing. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I love you, but you're crazy, man. All right. Anyway, so the total of the bills, 1,224 that came out of the account. Now, if I look at last month, that's an increase from last month. How about the month before? Yes, increase. So, and then, okay, in line here. So you can see, though, as we head into we'll head into fall, obviously, and then winter, the gas bill will then go up in the winter and the electric bill will get cheaper. So they'll flip flop. And whatever, it is what it is. So yeah, if you guys, again, I'll keep an eye on the chat. I'm not sure if you guys have any questions. Let me check real quick before I resume. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're okay. Oh, damn. Arizona in the summer? Wow, $800. Bro, that's freaking, well, I mean, your AC is probably just nonstop. I mean, that's probably, that's rough, man. Damn. All right, I guess I can't complain anymore, right? All right, so let's go back to the summary tab. So here's the two sets of bills. We got the 400, the car payment, and I broke it down all other. Because again, this is the dividend car account after all. But our other bills now exceed the dividend car payment. But anyway, we have about what, 1,224 for this month coming out of this account, and obviously you saw the other account, 1,300. So it is about even. Balances are close too. So ideally, it's a pretty evenly matched strategy right now between the two accounts. It's almost a challenge too, like who's doing better right now. I'm doing better than this account though, for my options trades. Okay, anyway, so the interest rate for the car, FYI, is 8.74%. I know some of you always ask, why don't you just pay it off, right? Just pay off the car and then you'll get one of those bills, But why would I do that, right? If I can yield, where's my yield? Well, again, inflated, I know. It shows 77%, but just say I can yield 50% on my money. Why would I pay off a loan that I'm paying 8.74% on, right? Similar like to margin, like, that's like the margin interest rate almost. Actually, I don't even know. I forget what the margin interest rate is on this account. I should probably know that, but it's around there, I think. So, but so why not utilize that money here and make more money and just pay off the car loan, each month until it's gone? That's my argument. Anyway, the interest for the car loan per month, or at least this month, $124. Okay, fine, dandy, whatever. I am using margin on this account. On a normal basis, I'm always using margin, actually. Do I want it? Do I want to? I mean, should probably stop because, right, if we're at all-time highs, maybe I have to be ready to buy on, some type of dip when it'll come. I don't know. It's a good question, but again, I'm not using much margin. You could see I'm paying interest of $46, which is nothing really in the scheme of things. I think I saw a question. Let me pull it up. What percent of your account are you factoring you can withdraw to pay your bills monthly? Well, again, basically my goal, and we'll get into that's at the end of this row, is to reinvest more than 50%. So I want to make more. I want to make obviously double at least of what my bills are out of the account, right? So obviously, in this example, you saw that the bills were what, for, about 1,200. And I made, again, this month is inflated, I know, 3,000. So yeah, ideally this was a good month, I did make more than 50. So that's pretty damn good, at least for the month of August. Hopefully that answered your question. Let me see. Okay, no other questions. Let me keep going. All right, so again, that's the margin, $46. My car loan balance sits at $17,999. So yeah, obviously I could take the money in this account, pay it off here, and then what? And then I just have less money to make money on. So again, I'm not going to do that. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The ending balance now is 17,724. Deposit wise, just like the other account, I did throw another 250 in this account. I know it's not much, but hey, better than nothing. So it is what it is. And then extra money. I don't know why I should not add the 250 because that's kind of cheating. So yeah, extra money would be the total income F13 plus, where is it? Yeah, I'm not going to add S anymore because that's cheating. Plus, yeah. Okay, so minus K, minus L, and P. Okay, yeah. All right, so yeah, that leaves me with, I had an extra $1,800 to deposit. And that comes to 58% reinvestment. So I was able to answer that question before, right? I'm able to reinvest 58% back into the account. And, again, ideally, these are not all my bills, and I'll show you all the bills on the next screen. But the plan is these two accounts, really this account is more autopilot. And that's kind of how I wanted to do. So, I wanted to pay all the bills. Obviously, I can do the mortgage and probably maybe I'll add another biggie, maybe the property tax in the other account. And then this will be everything else essentially. All right. All right. Now that's both accounts. Again, these are the main accounts I have. It's the Retire Now account, which is the options account, and then the Dividend Car account. And now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how much we made in totality for the month of August. All right. So if we look here, you can see, so we have the Retire Now, dividends, and options. I used to break it down. Now I'm just bulking it together, whatever, right? So I did make $3,167 total in that account, right? Again, assuming I didn't screw it up. Yep, 3,167. Yep. Dividend Car account, 3,074. Again, I did make an adjustment because I screwed that one up earlier. There it is, 3,074. So that's accurate. So between the two accounts, I made 6,241. Obviously, can I retire on dividends on that account? No, hell no. Can't freaking live off that. But luckily, I have YouTube, right? Obviously, we're on YouTube right now, although we're on YouTube and X. And I do now get paid for both. So for the month of August, YouTube paid me $3,269.44, and X paid me 3 times. They pay every 2 weeks. So again, inflated on this as well. They paid me $175 for a 2-week cycle, and then 100, and then 100. So they're paying me, it's looking like it's going to be around $100 every 2 weeks. Is that worth it? I mean, sure, right? Sure. So for the month, between dividends and other income, we'll call it, from YouTube and X, I made $9,886. If I annualize that, that's $118,000 a year. If I average it compared to all of the prior months, because again, that's what I'm doing. I got to see, is this consistent? Is it not consistent? So again, this is probably the better number to use. I'm averaging about 109,000 on an annualized basis. Okay. So now, just using this 9,886 number, is that enough to pay my monthly bills? Well, let's take a look. The mortgage, again, anything in black, highlighted in black, those are auto pay. So the mortgage, again, $1,300. All right. Property tax, again, The mortgage will go away eventually, not anytime soon, but it'll go away. This will not. All right. This only goes up too. So my latest property tax was 2,070 for per quarter, and that comes to 690.15 per month. Which is why obviously I'm breaking this down per month. All right. Homeowners insurance. This is actually coming up due, and I'm sure they're going to raise it. I did get the bill in the mail actually, but I just did not update it. I'll update it next month. But right as of the last payment, this is an annual bill. This comes to about $154 per month. Am I going to auto this one? Yeah, I'm going to. I'll probably do it in the options account, honestly. Maybe I'll do it like this time around too. I hate, things like that. Again, I do want to see the bill because I want to see, okay, like if they, it was 1,849 last year. To this year, I'm guessing it's going to be over 2,000, right? It's going to go up. But if it's like 2,500, then okay, I'm going to be like, all right, what the hell is this? Then you got to like probably search for another carrier, right? Just to make sure, you're totally ripped off. But let me just go through the comments real quick as I'm going through here. Thanks, Rod, for letting us know. Yeah, Fidelity bill pay by far. Again, I haven't used every single brokerage, obviously, but very, very simple to understand. Fidelity is honestly the overall best brokerage. Like no one competes with Fidelity. The only reason I'm with Schwab is the Thinkorswim app, and that's because I trade options, and I'm attached to it. I can't give it up. So if they didn't have Thinkorswim, yeah, I'd be in Fidelity, right? And I'd figure out their options platform. But since I'm used to Thinkorswim, I'm not getting rid of it. Like, why would I? I love the platform. So that's, as long as I trade options, I'm always going to be in Charles Schwab. And like I said, I'm always going to be in Fidelity because they're their overall best brokerage, in my opinion. It's, easiest to use. All right. Obviously, we talked about the car payment. That's also on auto pay, $400. That's not going to change until it's paid off. Car insurance, that kind of varies sometimes, but it's $173 per month. That's for two people. The water sewer bill, that's a quarterly bill as well. That's last quarter was at $254. I'm expecting a gigantic bill on the next one. I'm actually kind of scared, to be honest, because summer, sprinklers, floaties, kids, constant water. So this 84 is gonna, it's going to be a lot bigger on the next bill. So yeah, very scared, very super scared. Actually, I don't even want to see when that bill comes in the mail. I don't even know. If my name wasn't on it, I'd record myself live opening it, but yuck. All right. Anyway, that's $84 per month. Gas, again, cheap, $74, but again, summer. Electric, not cheap. Disaster, $467 is what it is. Home internet, we talked about that, $247. So you can see like in black what's on auto. I don't have property tax on auto because freaking town, you can't. It's just stupid. Homeowners, I'll do that on auto. Car insurance, I still have to figure out. They're giving me a struggle right now. And then water sewer, again through the town. I don't think I can auto that. So but yeah. All right. Anyway, moving on. I see this always comes up. I wish my mortgage was $1,300. But guys, keep in mind, the $1,300 is without property tax and homeowners insurance. I have no escrow. I purposely do that because I want to see what my property tax bill is. I want to see what my homeowners is, and go from there. In fact, my mortgage is actually $1,260. It's $1,260. I just pay an extra $40 per month. I don't want to pay anything. I used to pay much more, but obviously since my rate, it's only 2.875. So I'm happy to, keep that debt as long as needed. Here's a question. Do you track income tax and Social Security taxes? I know now it is coming out of your paycheck, but if you retire, you will have to pay them. Right now, I do not, because since I work a full-time job, I basically, I work to pay taxes for at the moment. Because, a lot of my working paycheck, it is obviously, I'm getting paid, but a lot of it goes to, income tax, state and federal. So it is what it is. And once I stop my active income job, yes, obviously I need to add now a bucket for taxes, which is another story in itself. And it's a good point. Honestly, it's probably a bucket I need to add at some point, because I'll have to pay that quarterly once I do retire early, hopefully. Is this recorded? Yes, we are live. So of course, yes, it'll post on YouTube. Yeah, I think, they want their money, so you have to pay quarterly. So if I'm just waiting to the end of the year, I'm sure they'll hit me with some fine or something. But they're getting more than enough now from my active income paycheck. All right, anyway. And we got the internet and we got daycare. That's about $606 per month. It's $140 for 2 days per week, $140 per week. So if I multiply that times 52 weeks, divide by 12, that's about $606 per month. But I'm not auto paying this because this is going to go away. We did try to get into the preschool, but there's a lottery here because there's too many kids, and we didn't make the lottery. But hey, maybe enough people will drop out, and then we'll make it in, and then we won't have this bill much longer. But again, this is only for 2 days. We wanted to keep him in there just to hang around other kids, and he loves it. He loves it, so we didn't want to completely pull him out since my wife's home. All right, this is another problem: healthcare and dental. This time I did look it up, and it's around this number, to be honest, for okay insurance. It'll be about $1,500, per month. And that's a bill I have to get ready for. Okay. And obviously I thought it would be cheaper, to be honest. But it's not. So again, it's just something I have to prepare for. All right. What else? Groceries. I don't know, man. Again, I used Google for this. Family of four came to $1,656. And then miscellaneous, I did boost that up from last month. I had $1,000 in there last month. I boosted it up to 2,000. And yeah, hopefully that's enough. So basically what I'm showing is I need $9,389 in expenses, right? That's how much. That's just expenses. Again, like Wolf said, this is not, even include taxes at the moment, which is again another story. But again, if a lot of the dividends are return of capital, then a lot of that won't be taxed, which is a good thing. But yeah, anyway. So that being said, the expenses were $9,389, or approximately are that. Since I made an income of $9,886, is that enough? Yes, it is. But it's only in excess of 5%. So that is not much wiggle room. Obviously, again, what is the percent that I'm comfortable with, and what's this percent we could live off of? I don't know, right? I don't know. But, am I close? That's the question. People ask me, how close are you to retiring on dividends? Not close enough. Obviously, I have my work cut out for me because, things are a little different for me from a lot of you guys and gals. Obviously, this healthcare thing is, even at 1,500, I think the deductible was about 6,000 or 7,000. So I'd have to, keep that in mind. I have to pay at least that out of pocket. And yeah, we will hit the deductible with 2 young boys. That for sure, will come out. Okay. All right. So would seriously consider moving somewhere with yeah, I know I should definitely at least consider it. I've been considering it, but I do, and I would get it if I was planning on staying in this current home. Yeah, exactly, for sure. All right, yeah, so that's basically the update, right? That is the update on everything. But yeah, as we get closer to retirement, you got to look at um, quarterly. What would the quarterly tax bill be for, both? Because I think I have. Oh, I did have a video question from last time. This is from Vladi. He asked me about balanced billing. Because for your gas and electric bill, you could do like a budget or whatever and balance the bill out, across, make it equal. But I don't like that because I don't even know what my bill is then. Like I want to know, oh, did I use is my electric high because every freaking light on was on the house, Is the pool was running too long? Like I want to know, I want to feel it. I want to see what my bills are. I don't want it balanced in across the year. It doesn't matter. It is balanced if you think about it, because gas gonna be low, electric gonna be high. Gas gonna be high, electric gonna be low. So I do consider that balance. So that's the reason I don't do the balancing, Vladi, is because I want to see it. I want to see what my actual bills are. All right. Anyway, let's see if there's any questions. All right. Do you have to pay Social Security taxes if you retire and don't work anymore? Well, if you retire again, that's a good question, actually. Because the employer pays a portion and you pay a portion, right? So I'll look at the feedback here. Retire Abroad says it depends how your income is classified. Okay, that's probably the right answer. I still do because I have more income than Social Security. Yeah, I know, but I want to, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to examine the freaking bill. Half the time, I don't even look at the damn bill, right? I look at the amount because I get like the emails of what I owe. How do you find out how your income is classified? 1099. You only pay Social Security on earned income, not investment income. Okay. Good stuff. Good conversation for people who either are retired. We have 424 people live right now watching the portfolio review. How many of you are retired, and how many of you are not retired? And I'm just curious. Good to know, Steele. Definitely. Yeah, that on tax on YouTube again. My current active income, it comes out of that. Again, if you saw the amount of taxes that I pay out per paycheck at work, you would laugh. So again, that's going to be a big gap. So that's, again, I need to, and Wolf is right. I need to add, I'm going to do that right now, actually. Below, insert below. And then, yeah, I'll have, we'll have state income tax. And then we'll have federal income tax. And then what we'll do is we'll calculate that based on the overall. I have to look up how Social Security would work on that too. But yeah, we'll have to look at basically all of this will be taxed. It depends on if it's return of capital. So that's the option. Well, no, the options income it will be taxed, but the dividend car, a lot of that's going to be return of capital probably. So, that's going to be tough to guess. I might just estimate the whole thing as being taxed. 1099 from YouTube. Yep. People keep talking about crowd health. What the hell is crowd health? And is it actually good insurance? It doesn't sound like something you'd have with kids. Hey, there's Vladi. Did you see I answered your question, Vladi? Sunita says, all my DGen investing, high income investing is in my Roth IRA. So this will bridge till my pension and Social Security kicks in. So I'm assuming no tax on the Roth income generation. Yeah, I mean, there's not supposed to be. Clive is retired and he doesn't want to work. Well, that works out then, right? Although you're starting a YouTube channel, so maybe that's technically you're working now. Living off my severance, nice, good for you. All right, so again, I got my work cut out for me in this account. So again, the expected, and I'll have to add, honestly, while I'm at it, I need to add life insurance because that's something else that's covered from the job, right? So you have to add all these things, keep them into consideration when doing these calculations. So obviously, yeah, it's a work in progress for sure. So that's why you can't just say, all right, I'm done, I'm leaving. But yeah, do you guys have any questions about the Retire Now account, the Dividend Car account, or the Retiring on Dividends breakout? Again, I'm sharing from day one, really. That was the plan of this channel, to share my journey on everything I learned about investing and share my journey, how much I make, share my journey, on how I do on YouTube, how much in dividends I'm making, if I can retire, even when I retire, how much I'm making, things like that. So it's just going to be, all shared. But yeah, no, obviously you can see I'm not close to retirement. So that's pretty clear. The difference is there is a big question mark though. And the question mark is, if I had the extra 40 to 50 hours per week, how much then could I make on YouTube or Twitter or even options? Because obviously if I'm trading options and I could be at the screen all day, that's a different story, right? That's a huge change. Right now you rush things, or you can only do things a certain time of day. But so yeah, obviously I'll make more money from those things once I have more time. All right, let me just go through some comments and we could call it a day. I got to get my ass running, go out for a jog today. Mig says, Rod, hurry up and retire so I can see what I'll need when I'm ready to retire. Yeah, you, Migs, you're bringing in some nice dough there. I saw. What the heck did you make? 20K or more? How much did you make in that last per month in August? I know August was inflated, but still. You're welcome, ProFast guy. It's a work in progress for me too. So again, I need to be better be safe than sorry. Sunita is too. Oh, I thought you were retired, Sunita. Brother says, awesome progress, Rod. Having all the variables detailed out will make lifestyle changes easier to address and implement. You're well on your way. Appreciate that, brother. Just got to be like you, Need a nice cushion on our income just in case. I currently have a 50% cushion on income. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do have the miscellaneous, which kind of works as a cushion, but I may actually also add a cushion bucket to this, like save your ass cushion, we'll call it. I don't even know. But, and also there is obviously a 401k that I have, which I would, if I left the current employer, I would cash it out. I'm not going to lie. I would take the 10% penalty. I would cash it out and I would use it for, now in a taxable account so that I could generate income and live for the now. So that, again, that's a big game changer, and that's where the majority of the money would come from. Oh, I didn't even know you had a date. 2 years. All right, but wait, you take T&A out? What happened? Damn, Megs. Yo, Megs, if you don't have kids, there's no what are you doing? You made 30K. You got to retire, man. What are you waiting for? Who made almost 10K? Add Social Security and Medicare taxes to your YouTube income. Yeah. I mean, is that, I assume, do we know? I guess that is. We're just adding expenses left and right. I'll have to look up the rates and all that. So it's not on investment income, but it's on, I got to think about this. So it's better. We'll see how much that comes to, but so it's almost better to make my money from investing than freaking YouTube. All right, so let's see this. Healthcare money before Medicare age, huge. Yeah. Yeah, 30. Yeah, Migs is. Yeah, Migs, come on, bro. Just freaking retire. Just do it. I mean, lay out your expenses. Do it on your next video. I want to see it. All right, what do we got here? Going through the comments, guys. Obviously, the video is pretty much over, but we're live, so we're going to go through some live Q&A. So if you're watching this video after the fact, that's what's happening. I know people get annoyed. All right. Can't retire with that much in Cali. Yeah, you can. 30K a month. I mean, Cali's not too much worse than New Jersey. I mean, New Jersey actually has worse property tax, though. Every quarter, I have to talk myself out of cashing out those old 401ks. You cash out a little quarterly, brother? Yeah, Mig's got to move anyway. Well, it's a Roth 401k. Most of it is. So my plan is to, well, I don't know. I'll talk about this in another video, but I got ideas. Should get Bolden to run your data. There's a free version. It would take taxes. Oh, yeah. I don't know what the hell Bolden is, but I like the spreadsheets. Yeah, you better, Migs. Damn, 30K. Oh yeah, you're right. We don't have the music going. We got like 5 minutes anyway, but I'll put it on. All right. Sorry, just catching up on the comments. Yeah, Migs is a beast. He's making bank. I know, no movie quotes or singing. Depressing, isn't it? But it's a reality check here. So, but we got our work cut out for us. We got to add 5 more expense buckets on the next calculation, which now will slow down our retirement. But you see why, like, return of capital, people love return of capital, right? But obviously that lowers some of the taxes that they owe. All right, so any other questions before we head out and I go for a run? Anyone? 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 Yeah. All right. So Bitcoin. Where you at, Bitcoin? I saw it was at 110. Let me just check. Yeah, it's at 110. So it's gonna be a good day. Nice green day. I know it's a little off topic, so I just wanted to check. So any other questions before we go? Oh yeah. I was told that for those of you trying to join the Wheel Warriors, or at least trying to join a version of the memberships, you can't do it on the app. I was told you have to do it on the desktop, or if you want to do it on the app, I think you have to type in, backslash or / join when you type it in the website. So if you are looking to join the Wheel Warriors, just go to a desktop. If you don't have a desktop, then type in my YouTube website, and then followed by / join. Tomorrow is decision day for what? LA's out of here. Yeah, LA, see you later. Have fun at work. Going for, yep. You going too pro fast? We can run together. What are we gonna listen to though? LA's. Is there an op between Misty and what the hell is MSTP? You can do it. Okay. Yeah, Migs knows. Okay. Yeah. Would you type in join at the end? / join or back, whatever. Decision for, oh, yeah. Well, it's just Group A. Nobody cares about Group A anyway, right? Thanks, Flavia. Appreciate that. All right. We have 512 live on YouTube and X. Thank you all for joining my Retire Now portfolio, my dividend car portfolio, and the Retiring on Dividends update. Again, this is once a month. We'll do this, not typically live. This was like a one-off thing, but it just worked. We had a morning open. Yeah, that's why we did it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Rod, date, and number. Let's go with 2030. You want a date? There it is, 5 years from now. All right, 2030, end of year. Not ideal, I know, but for now, that's gonna have to be it, right? 360K by 2030. Yeah, well, if I go to this account, right, if I go all the way down, 340K by 2030. And then obviously the dividend car account, if it does well, that'll have a higher balance, although it's been up and down. And then obviously there's YouTube, there's Twitter, and then there's other things, right? Maybe partnerships, things like that. So we can all work on that. So keyword 2030. 90s. 2030. All right, I guess that's the keyword. But as always, this is not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. Don't do anything I did. Obviously, I'm just a schlep on YouTube. All right, this is for fun and entertainment. Okay, so I hope you had fun. I hope you were entertained. If you want to entertain any of this, obviously you want to consult a financial advisor, do your own research. You know, anything within your own risk tolerance. I'm a degenerate. Keep that in mind. So I'm a little more on the risky side. So yeah, hopefully by 2030. But yeah. What else were we saying? If you guys enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you have any questions about my retirement account or my active income accounts, again, these are not retirement accounts. These are all in taxable accounts. I don't think I mentioned that, but obviously I assume you guys knew that because they're paying bills, right? These are not in retirement accounts. These are in taxable because I want them to pay bills. These accounts are working for me today. Why do I invest in income ETFs? Because they pay my bills, right? They pay my bills. Almost all of them, not all of them. But again, it's not because of me. It's because freaking some things don't work. But again, even that's a work in progress. But obviously, yeah, I'm sharing my journey from, you know, building up enough to retire. Obviously, looking at all expenses, and yeah, sure, we added a whole bunch this own video. This is the beauty about going live for this video. And then I'll add in, it's going to go up for sure. Obviously, the expense side, keeping that in mind, but at least I'll be ready and know how much I need to retire when the time comes. All right. So that being said, I guess it's keyword time. All right. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, gotta say the freaking keyword. You know, keyword today looks like everyone wants it to be 2030 because they asked me for a date of when I'm going to retire, and I'll say my absolute latest date is December of 2030. Like, I'm not working past that. I'm not doing it. All right. Can I retire before that? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Again, I haven't mapped it out, but I need to start, really thinking this through. I'm going to put, like I said, I'm adding taxes now. I'm taking it to the next step. So I need to actually prep for this. So am I going to retire in 5 years? I sure as hell hope so. You know what? We got a question before we go. How are you using margin and making a withdrawal? The brokerage lets you do that? Yes, they do. It's a good question. And actually, I do talk about that on daily, right? Because I do have what's called withdrawable margin. You should have two buckets in your brokerage. At least I do. On Charles Schwab, there's withdrawable margin and then there's trading margin. The withdrawable margin is what can be used to, I can use this money for whatever I want. I could take it out. I can go out partying, right? Or I could use it to buy stocks, or I could pay my mortgage. And yes, I could pay my mortgage with this balance. Trading margin, that cannot. That is only for trading, okay? So this is specific for bill pay, taking cash out, things like that. So there's two buckets of margin. So keep that in mind. Like if you're paying bills out of an account or you periodically take money out, you want your withdrawable margin to not be zero. That's for sure. All right. So hopefully that helped. All right. Any other questions before we go? Oh, good point. When we get to the keyword, yes, I appreciate you type it in the live comments, but also type it in the actual comments as well. That way I know you made it to the end of the video. Question, does S&P 500 decide if MSTR gets in this week? I was told that nobody really knows, right? So, yeah. Bernie says, I may have missed this. You pay bills with the income ETFs. Do you ever drip back in? I don't use drip. I do manual drip. So, yes, I do reinvest, but myself. Okay. Now, let's get to the end. So, if you made it this far in the video, I like the... Where's Sunita's comment? She had a good comment. There it is. December 2030 LFG. You made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to type in the keyword, not only on the live comments, but on the actual comments. So instead of under live, you go to other comments and then you type it in. So that way we know you made it to the end of the video. All right. So whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on X, whether you watched it live, whether you watched it later, you have to type in the keywords December 2030, because that is the absolute latest I will be working full time. That is for damn sure. What's your date, by the way? Let me know. If you want to let me know on top of that, let me know in the comments. So yeah, that's the keyword for today. And then, yeah, that's it. So I'm going to go for a quick run, and then I'm taking the kitties somewhere, and we'll have a fun day before they begin school. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I will talk to you tomorrow, but I won't be live. So I'll talk to you probably on the premiere. All right, I'm out of here. Later.